Do you want to get exclusive high-end ships for free? The best equipment and components? The whole thing paired with action and team play? Then you are right here. Because in this guide you will learn everything about the contested zones, as well as the executive hangar and the special rewards, the probably hottest PvP/PvE zones of the game. Because here we fight not only against NPC opponents, but also against other players for 7 special tablets, which give us the hangar gates for exclusive and specialized spaceships. As rewards, high-end special variants of ships are waiting, such as the F8C Lightning, the F8-7A Mark II, the Drake Cutlass Black, the Corsair or the Gatak Suilan, which we can't get any other way in these variants. In the video, we give you a complete overview of the contested zones, where you can find them, how they work and what you need. And of course, as on the different cards and different tablets, where you can get 7 different necessary ones. And finally, how you can get the ultimate reward, the different executive ships, as well as some tips and tricks, how to survive NPC waves, avoid traps and defend against PvP attacks, as well as some additional high-end loot, such as special military components or weapons. First, an overview, because beware, in the contested zones, everyone is your enemy. NPC pirates, other players, or even time works against you. Doors only open every 20 to 30 minutes, cards have to be printed and also have minutes of cooldowns, and the executive hangar doors activate in mysterious cycles. But don't worry, we decrypt all the steps for you and give you tips and tricks for every area along the way and show you step by step how to collect all necessary 7 tablets, avoid traps and finally disappear with your executive ship from Pyro before anyone notices. The contested zones are located at the 3 main locations in the Pyro system and are pure extraction shooter areas. Here we have the Orbituary station, where we find tablet number 4 and number 7, the Checkmate station, where we find tablets 1, 2 and 3, and finally the Ruin station in the Ghost area, where we find tablets 5 and 6. But beware, the tablets are numbered and you need a full set for every ship you want to pick up from the executive hangar from number 1 to number 7. In addition, there are 2 necessary asteroid bases that serve as a source for red Supervisor cards and various loot and of course also fuses, which we need in almost every contested zone, as well as the various other areas we need to go. These are the PYAM-SUPVISR 3 and 4 close to Pyro 3 and 4 and the PYAM-SUPVISR 3-5 close to Pyro 3 and 5. Because ultimately we have to go to the endpoint with all 7 collected tablets, the executive hangar PYAM-XHANG-01, where we have to use our tablets with a special mechanism to finally get our reward, an executive ship. And this ship stays in our hangar until the next big wipe, as if we had bought it in-game. In doing so, we have to deal with the various timers and cooldowns for access possibilities to various areas. Red cards, for example, print every 30 minutes. Hangar lights change every 12 to 24 minutes. And here's a good news. Collected tablets are no longer reset in updates since the last patch, so we have a lot more time to collect them. But first and foremost, the crucial question: is it worth the effort? A clear yes, if you like PvP and the thrill of an extraction shooter and of course want strong and specialized executive ships. But also a very clear no, if you have a low frustration tolerance and are traveling as a pacifist in the world. Because fights are inevitable here. Chapter 1. We get 2 red Supervisor cards from the asteroid bases, without which we would not get the tablet number 1 on the Checkmate station and also the tablet number 7 on the Orbituary station. And we always need all tablets, so these 2 too. But of course we can get all tablets one after the other with breaks, as well as the red Supervisor cards. And we only get these red Supervisor cards from 2 asteroid bases in the 3rd Pyro ring. Here in the PYAM-SUPVISR 3-4 area and the PYAM-SUPVISR 3-5 area. And thanks to CIG for the great abbreviations. 2 stations are close to the jump points Pyro 3-4 or Pyro 3-5 on the 3rd inner ring in the Pyro system, relatively easy to find. Once there, we have to fly on manually and stop in the asteroid field for a fog view. Here we find position lights between the fogs again and again. And a little spoiler, the Executive Hangar later looks very similar, as does the location, only in different place. Here, it is recommended to fly slowly to use the scanner so as not to crash into asteroids and to be able to recognize enemies early on, if necessary. Because not only NPC opponents are out and about in the area, but of course other players with the same goal. And for Pyro, most players shoot first. We always recommend you to be ready to fight with activated shields and to be on the move with a light fighter or similar. And an additional warning, we have approached the station, the battle turrets are firing at us, so switch them off or park behind an asteroid and use the EVA approach to get to the entrance. But we recommend to destroy the defense turrets and parking as close as to the entrance as possible. In the stations themselves, there are over 20 NPCs distributed that we have to kill, whereby we recommend the FS9 LMG, which we can also buy at the Pyro stations with the corresponding ammunition. Because with this, the damage potential and penetration power is sufficient and we have enough ammunition supplies with us. And for orientation, the Reddit user Karest has created an overview map, which we of course do not want to withhold from you and which we also provide in our Discord with a link to the author. The necessary card printer for the red Supervisor cards, a large yellow machine, can be found in the main room of the station, where we have a 30-minute timer to be able to print one of the red Supervisor cards. And as mentioned, we need a total of 2 of these red keycards to collect all 7 tablets, and only if that works for the first try. Is your printer in cooldown or doesn't work? Then just kill all the NPCs in the station and loot them. They also have a drop chance for red cards. And in any case, we recommend equipment, various map pens, a Q Alive tool, grenades, a ballistic weapon, and as I said, the LMG. We would recommend a tractor beam for bugged fuses, and to be able to use the doors, and possibly a teammate. Because if you are not alone, at least you are 2, one can find and the other can keep his bag free. And on the subject of fuses, we basically need them in almost 80% of the cases, in all contested zones, executive hangars and so on. We can either loot them at the 2 stations like here, or we can buy them beforehand at the gateway stations, where they are also offered to buy for 180 Alpha UEC per piece. Because basically you always need fuses on the different areas, you definitely shouldn't save on that. Chapter 2. The 7 different tablets, all locations, accesses and tips and tricks. We can find the 7 tablets at the following stations in Pyro, directly on the stations in the self-accessible contested zones. And here too, there is already excellent map material for each zone from our content creator colleague Terada, which we also provide you in Discord, as well in the video description the link to Terada. And a big thank you to this great map work. We start at the Checkmate station for tablets 1, 2, 3. From the main marketplace on the station we follow the sign Contested Zone to the elevator, past the lock, and here at the security door we already need a first fuse. And for tablet number 1, we also need the first red Supervisor card for the red door, which we use to fight our way to the big dining room. For tablets 2 and 3, we can loot the blue security card directly in Checkmate by the elevator to the observation deck and a jump in the lower area. But note that some NPCs are well hidden here. The next contested zone can be found at the Orbituary station for tablets 4 and 7, near Pyro 3. From the marketplace on the station we follow the sign Contested Zone again to the elevator and the lock, because here we also need a fuse at the security door. We find tablet number 4 after the security door by holding left and walking to the machine in the control room. And for tablet number 7 we need the red Supervisor card again for the red door, where we follow the long corridor with many NPCs. And at the last station, the Ruin station, in the Ghost Arena we find tablets 5 and 6. Here we don't find a lock and land directly in the contested zones. Tablet number 5 is behind the security door in the crypt, where we need another fuse and go straight to the machine. And the last one, tablet number 6, is another specialty because it is located in the vault. So the vault only opens every 20 minutes and then closes again after a few minutes, whether all players are in or not. So pay special attention to opponents, whether respawning NPCs or players, who all want to go into the vault. And you should always keep in mind that players can also wait for you in the vault area, and the ruin station is the PvP battlefield. Finally, a short checklist of what you need at the different stations for fuses and cards. At Checkmate, you need 2 fuses, 1 red and 1 blue card. On Orbituary, 1 fuse and 1 red card. And on the ruin station, 1 fuse and patience for the 20-minute vault timer. And by the way, you can find the optional blue security printers on the Checkmate and Orbituary stations with a cooldown of 15 minutes in the back area of the contested zone, often behind fuse doors. But here again the hint, check the maps. Chapter 3, the Executive Hangar and your rewards. So, now we just have to bring all of our 7 collected tablets from 1 to 7 in the corresponding order to the Executive Hangar, X-Hang-01, enter them there and take our executive ship. Unfortunately, this is not quite as easy and extremely risky. The executive hangar can be found under the designation PYAM-X-Hang-01 directly near the Pyro's sun. Once there, we fly manually to the cluster where we find 3 different stations in the fog. But only one of these 3 bases has green lights at the entrance and is currently active. These do not differ in appearance from the outside, from the Supervisor stations. And of course, pay attention here again to various simpler NPC spaceships that attack you, and of course, if necessary, also to the defense towers, analogous to the Supervisor stations. Inside, of course, there is also the greatest amount of caution of all times, as other players often just wait for you sometimes to take the hard-fought 7 tablets there and dissolve them directly. To use your 7 tablets, you will find a partially weightless machine room in the central area of the station with 3 large tubes that hold the terminals for your tablets. But these only work if the display displays 5 green lights, where you should also hurry, as these green lights go one after the other, but then also go off one after the other, which in the worst case would mean a waiting time for several hours. So again the tip, to pay attention to the choice of hangars in the fog, to fly one with a green outside lighting, as there are 3 to choose from. But if you have 5 green lamps active on the tubes, we can finally insert our 7 tablets. Although the order does not matter, the main thing is that you have to insert the tablets from number 1 to number 7 completely. The following rhythm applies for the following timer for these 5 status lights and the possibility of insertion. In the charging phase, we have a waiting time for 24 minutes per green light, and maximum of 2 hours waiting. In the active phase, until the green lights are extinguished, we have 12 minutes until all lights are extinguished one after the other, so almost an hour of total waiting time. And in the reset phase, we have a 5-minute red phase, so 5 red lights. Here the cycle starts again and we have to wait again until the lights turn on after 24 minutes after each green light. And only with 5 green lights we can insert our tablets in this short window of time. But be careful, during a red phase our tablets are extinguished should you not have opened the hangar in this time. The actual executive hangar is at the end of this central room and only appears when you have inserted all the tablets, after which you then get to an X-large hangar and can simply spawn your ship at the terminal. And here is crucial, which player presses the claim button at the terminal. This ship is then available in your hangar in the game until the next big wipe, presumably at the beta start, so in short, as if you had bought the ship in-game with in-game currency. Therefore, the important warning again, even if you have taken all the steps to open the executive hangar, it is important that you are the one who presses the terminal at the end, because that is the last and decisive point which player gets this ship in his hangar. As reward chips, there are randomly distributed different variations and variants, as stealths are strong grade A military versions of the following ships with different chances. And the only thing they all have in common is the common paint, namely the executive paint. With almost 50% chance you get the Crapless Black or the F7-8 Hornet Mark II. With about 10% chance, a F8C Lightning or a Drake Corsair. With about 30% chance, the Gataxu Len, each in the executive version, which is accordingly also described in your hangar. And with the claiming of your new ship, the executive hangar also opens and you can fly off with your ship and claim and use it again and again, analogous to other ships at each station. Congratulations, you did it! Chapter 4. In the various contested zones and also in the executive hangar, we find some very high quality loot, ships, components and so, which you can not only take with you directly, but also load in small cargo lifts by means of a tractor beam. These include items such as FPS weapons, railguns, grenade launchers, or ship components in military grade A, stealth components, rare weapons, mods and so on. You can either pack these loot directly, if there are small items, or you'll load the larger items in the cargo lift areas and choose the destination to use it later. So the whole contested zones are not only worth for the executive ship, but also for various loot and high quality components. And finally, I would like to say thank you again, because that was definitely a team effort, namely of the Road Retirement launch, whereby you are welcome to be invited here, even as a beginner, just to be there and to join us. Because collecting the tablets, fuses and so on was not easy, and I think we had 3 sentences that we completely lost, either to bug users, cheaters or the other system bug, complete packs of 7 tablets. But nevertheless, a total of just under 8 executive ships could be distributed among each other. So thank you again for your support. But what do you think of the executive hangar ships? A meaningful reward? Or would it be time to make something peaceful? That means an executive mining ship or an executive salvaging mission with similar rewards but a peaceful gameplay. Let us know in the video comments, in Discord or our daily Twitch live streams. I say goodbye until next time, say thank you for watching and, of course, see you in the verse.